For an acrylic paint sketchbook cover, we're going to be creating a sketchbook to use all trimester long for brainstorming ideas, planning our projects, and taking notes on complicated processes. Paints are your material. What will you do with it? Our essential question to think about for this project is what factors prevent or encourage people to take creative risks? We want to try new things. The learning standards that we're going to focus on are creating original artwork and having an idea that's original to us, or if we borrow an idea, we're changing it to create something new. We're going to plan by creating multiple sketches, and we're going to communicate a clear message so the audience can understand what you're trying to show in your painting. We're also going to work on your art making skills, pushing ourselves to learn new painting techniques. When we flip our learning guide over to look at the steps, our first step is to set a goal for the cover of our topic. What are we trying to communicate? What do you want the audience to see when they look at your painting? Is it going to be about a beach at sunset? Is it going to be about your favorite animal? Is it going to be about your favorite sport? Are you going to make a sketchbook that's about your favorite superhero? When you decide your goal, you're going to write it in the space that says List Goal here. Getting set up for painting, you need your egg carton with paint, your brushes, your palette paper, water, and some paper towels. I'm going to look at my sketch and see what's furthest away. In this case, it's the sky and the water at the lake. So I need to mix my sky color first. I'm going to scoop a small amount of each color from the egg carton, wiping off the palette knife in between colors to keep the paints in the egg carton clean. I'm mixing the different colors till I get one that I like. If I don't like my color, I can take a small pile of the color and then continue to mix that. We don't want to make giant piles of paint. I'm applying a thin layer onto the cardboard, remembering that the cardboard is not white, so the colors will look a little bit darker when they dry, so you probably need to put a little bit of white in with your paint. As I'm applying the paint, I'm paying attention to the colors of the sky, making some areas darker and some areas lighter. When I'm ready, I added some more colors to my palette paper, and I'm moving on to the water. Notice I'm not painting with only one color. I'm going back and forth between all my watercolors and blending in little small reflections. It really helps to observe or look at the things that you're painting to help you understand the best textures to add. You want to work smoothly. Notice I've gotten a new palette paper because I've switched colors to make the island and the shore and the trees with. I painted the island where it goes, and I'm going to go back to my sketch to double check to make sure I'm putting things where I plan them out. Now notice the trees on the island actually go up higher than the trees in the distance. They're not actually bigger trees, but they look bigger because they're closer to my viewpoint. So I'm painting in the ground of the island. So I'm mixing in some brown, some tan, some white, and I'm using a small brush because this is a smaller detail. I'm not putting too much paint on my brush. I'm slowly building up the layers of the paint. The next I'm going to start painting are the tree trunks. So I'm going to paint in the base tree trunks, and I'm thinking about making them a little bit like real trees that are a little bit twisty turny, not super straight, because real trees don't grow perfectly. And I realized that I actually made my trees too short. So I'm going back in and I am making my trees a little bit taller so that they will look like that island is closer to us and not farther away. Now I'm going to finish painting in the rest of the tree trunks, making sure that they are going all different directions. And I have a memory of a tree that hangs out over the lake, so I'm making that one do that. And now I'm going to get ready to paint the leaves. So I've got my green colors on my palette paper, and I'm using a dabbing motion with my brush. And I'm not just going with straight green, because trees are never a solid color. They reflect the light. Some trees are more shadowy, some trees have more highlights. And I'm dabbing, 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 dabbing with my brush. And I'm never putting too much paint on my brush. I'm dipping back and forth to the palette paper so I don't have to have too much paint on my brush at any one time. And I'm slowly building up the tree, and you can see how the island is starting to come to life here. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to refer to my drawing and see what I need to cover next. Close up is the raft that we would swim out to near the shore. So I'm going to get my pencil and I'm going to sketch that out first. I never want to just start painting with just guessing. So once the paint is dry, you can draw right on it with the pencil, and so you have a better idea of where you're painting. Once I'm done sketching, it's time to paint my final details. These are the details that are the closest to me, that are in front of everything else. That's what gets painted last. We never want to start with those because then you have to paint around it. So you'll notice I'm using a small brush with a small amount of paint on my brush. Still using my palette paper. Every time I need more paint, I go back with my palette knife and scoop from the egg carton. And that is how you're going to build your painting. So no matter what you're painting, you're going to start with your background and you're going to slowly work your way up to the details that are closest to you.